Grand Rising family, all high frequency beings. Thanks for tapping in once again. Razael here, on my channel, making a video pertaining to making sea moss gel from sea moss in its original form, coming from the ocean. It's always good to get natural sea moss before I get started. That's sourced from the oceans, mainly off the coast of Jamaica, Saint Lucia. And I believe I've had some sea moss from, I can't remember from where, I believe it was Honduras. That was very great sea moss. Sea moss comes in a few forms, in a gold form or white form, a purple form, and a green form. I'm not sure if that's its original state. The purple is more purple due to its high concentration of antioxidants, and the gold form is just what we probably would refer to as the original form of sea moss. Either way, both forms are good. From what I understand, to my knowledge, the gold sea moss pertains more so to the the cellular structure and rebuilding to feed the cells. All in all, they both contain 92 of the 102 essential nutrients. Sea moss is very good in many various ways. It gives you energy. It works as a prebiotic when you're taking on an empty stomach in the morning. It has high levels of magnesium and zinc, which is good for our immune systems. And the purple one is full of more antioxidants. If you may be finding some type of ailment, or if your doctor may have told you, yeah, you got something going on and you want to get rid of it. Sea moss also helps alkalinize the body and rid it of mucus. And something that's not mentioned enough is that sea moss fights radiation by converting radioactive contaminants in our body to salt to be disposed of physically, and we know how that happens. So to get started, I have three ingredients that I'm going to be using to make this sea moss. Of course, the sea moss in its original form, sourced from the ocean. Some people feel like it's best to see it, a bit dirty, and they say you can tell it was sitting in the ocean. And the way it gains its nutrients is it sits on the bottom of the ocean and it just sits there collecting all the nutrients that travel back and forth, that's moving throughout the ocean, and it just sits there and accumulates all of these great minerals and nutrients. Another ingredient is my key limes. I use key limes as a preservative and as a flavor to give it more flavor. And of course, I pure spring water, right? We want just spring water sourced from its source, nothing else added. No electrolytes, no purification processes or reverse osmosis or nothing like that. We just want good spring water, bottled at the source, straight from its source. It ain't always got to be something crazy expensive. There are some spring waters that have natural electrolytes. Those are good to get. Those are great to get as well when making your sea moss. Something else I have here. Don't be laughing at my scale, y'all. I promise I don't get down like that. I like to weigh my shrooms. But I have a scale here to measure my sea moss. They say usually, use about 4 ounces to make a single 16-ounce serving in the mason jar of sea moss. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I don't really weigh mine out too often. I kind of eyeball it and make it as I go. Getting a good amount. Another thing you want to have is you want to have a decent sized container. I like to use this container because it holds less space in my fridge. Now we're gonna put it in this water. We're gonna rinse it a few times, and then we're gonna put it in this jar, and we're gonna soak it for 24 hours. You can't soak it 12 hours, but it expands. It really expands like 2 to 3, 4, sometimes 5 times its size, depending on the container. So I like to soak it 24 hours so it can expand as good as much as it's going to expand, so I can get a good serving. You don't want to soak it too long because it'll get flimsy, and you don't want no flimsy sea moss. Another thing about sea moss is you can make it in different textures. You can make it thick, or you can make it a little smoother. But keep in mind and be mindful that the more water you use, the less nutrients you have. So sometimes it's good to have a little thicker sea moss and just eat that spoonful. A lot of people like to change the texture so they can mix it with water and applesauce, but you want to be mindful of that texture. So what I'm going to do here, soak it. I'm gonna take my like I said, take a good amount of sea moss out of here. Put it into my container. Nice size amount. Let me show you how much I got. This is how much. This is how much I'm gonna be putting into my container from my one serving right here. Mainly because I use it for different purposes. You know what I'm saying? I put it in smoothies. I eat it raw. I eat it raw out the spoon in the morning, and I put it in smoothies. If you make hemp milk from scratch, I could do a video on how to make hemp milk too. If you make hemp milk from scratch, you can also add a little sea moss to your hemp milk. To be honest with you, give it a little kick, a little more nutrients. Then what I do is take this water. I got 2 water bottles. I don't waste nothing. So let me use the last little bit I got left here. I'm gonna take this water. I'm gonna fill this jar all the way to the top, y'all. I'm gonna fill this jar all the way to the top. I'm gonna add. Give me a second. I'm gonna add one more piece of sea moss. Because my last batch, it was good. It was thick. You know what I'm saying? But it went kind of fast. So what I'm gonna do with this one is I'm gonna make this one a little thicker. And when you make it thicker, you don't gotta take. I'm gonna get into the serving after we make it, because we're just gonna get started with how to soak it. But when you make it thick, you don't gotta take a lot, man. You don't need a whole bunch of sea moss. Some people take too much sea moss at one time. It's not bad, but it's not real good either. Sometimes you eat too much at once, it'll turn your stomach upside down. So I fill this little container all the way to the top. If you can see the meniscus of the water right there. I fill this all the way to the top, right? Now I'm gonna take 1 key lime. The key lime also cleans it. And key limes have nutrients as well. Can't leave that part out. Key limes are full of nutrients, antioxidants. They give you energy. Key lime water is great in the morning on an empty stomach as well. I'm gonna split this key lime in half. I'm gonna split this key lime in half right here, like that. So, and then I don't want to spill this. I'm gonna just squeeze it. I'm gonna just squeeze it into my season all, cause we ain't worried about that right now. When we take the sea moss out, we could get the seed out. But I'm gonna squeeze it into this 1 key lime into my sea moss so it could soak, gain some more nutrients, and get some flavor, and also get clean. So the key lime can also clean it as well. It's many reasons to put key lime in your sea moss, especially when you're soaking it and when you're making it. You gain more nutrients. I'm gonna get into more things you can add to it when you make it after we soak it. This first part is just gonna be about soaking it. All right. I squeeze my key lime. Now, after you use your key lime, you can use this for deodorant. You can take it 1, 2, 3, dab up under your arms like 6 times. It's a great way to help alkalize your body and keep you odor free. I mean, even if you got a great diet, it don't hurt to use, because if you eat enough chlorophyll, you naturally won't smell either. But this is also a great way to alkalize your body and use it as a deodorant, a natural deodorant. Because I don't like to waste stuff. Or you could just put these in some water too and make some key lime water. So it's a lot of things you can do with this instead of just throwing it away. Now we're gonna take this here, put a cap on it. I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator, and I'll see you guys in 24 hours. All right. Our sea moss has set for 24 hours. It has expanded pretty well. Like I was telling you all, if you can tell here, versus how it looked yesterday. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to take the sea moss and we're just going to put it in the blender, to be honest with you. Nothing real special. Just going to go like this here. I'm going to drop it in the blender. Now, when you put it in the blender, What you want to do is, I start off by adding half a cup to a cup of water, depending on how, like I said, the texture that you want your sea moss. And like I said, you don't never want it to be too watery, because the nutrients get watered down. And this is the idea of how dirty the sea moss was. Not really dirty, but just sand and stuff from where it was sitting at. Now you can put your sea moss in the strainer and rinse it off. I would advise that, but if you rinse it off, you want to use clear spring water. You never want to use faucet water on your sea moss. No disrespect. Even my filtered water from your fridge, where I put on the faucet, I still don't use my faucet water. Now there are filters you can buy. They're real good filters you can buy, and they cost a few $100s. I'm not gonna mention any of the manufacturer names because but you can look them up. And what it is, it's like a big cylindrical towel, and it has like so many like different types of filters throughout the towel, and you pour your water in there, and it filters the water over a certain amount of time. And what I understand, they work real good. My cousin got one. I never really brought one. I just go get spring water just to be extra sure. And you can also get pH tabs to test the alkalinity of the spring water you're using as well, to make sure it's as clear as you want it. What I have is, I have a mason jar that has increments on it from 2 to 4 to 6, 8, 12, all the way to 16 ounces. So I'm not going to use a measuring cup. I'm just going to use the sea moss, the mason jar, and put the sea moss in. So I'm gonna pour 8 ounces of water into my blender with the sea moss. 1 minute, forgot the top. All right, y'all. I swore I had everything I needed, but I'm still a little new to this as far as this type of videos. I usually do videos on consciousness and things that's going on in this realm as far as ascension, our DEA activation is concerned, the melanated beings. And I got the key limes as well. So we're gonna put the top on that. Now I got another blender I could use. It's a little smaller, and it's more high speed, but I'm gonna use this blender. So this is more like a regular blender as well, for anybody that might not have a high speed blender. Now, when you start blending it, it's good to just start on the slow mode. Sometimes when you go straight to fast mode, the sea moss will twirl around and create like a bushel around the blades. So I'm gonna start slow. And the way I'm posting, it's a good idea as well. You don't let this blend. Alternating the speed of the blade, you don't let this blend up until we get it to a texture. I'm gonna pause it for a minute. I'm gonna get back to you and show you the texture in a minute. Okay, now I have it pretty smooth, almost to the point where I want it. And I'm gonna show you the texture, desired texture in a minute. I'm gonna squeeze the key lime. You see I got a strainer here. Can't find my small one. I'm gonna squeeze the key lime over the strainer so the seeds don't get in. I mean, even if the seeds get in, it'll sit on top and you could just scrape them off. Like I said, the key lime acts as a preservative, keeping it fresher a little longer. And it also lightens the flavor a little bit. Sometimes sea moss could be taste a little oceany. It had a little, not a salt taste to it, just an oceany taste. Like fishy, not like fish necessarily. I don't want to stray nobody away from it. Some people mix fruit with it, stuff like that. I just like to use key lime. Like I said, key lime it has a lot of minerals for you. A lot of minerals for y'all. Antioxidants, all that type of stuff too. Besides that being a preservative, it provides that too. Then we're gonna blend this back up with the key lime in it. You want to get it to the point where the blender can just go through pretty smooth. I run it on low after I run it on high to get a lot of the air bubbles and stuff like that. If you make it a little thick, it can accumulate air bubbles and stuff, through the process. Sorry about that, guys. I had that plugged into an extension cord that had a bit of a short in it. So the texture you want is pretty solid. You see what I'm saying? Some people's it'd be a bit flaky and stuff like that, but you want a smooth, creamy texture, right? Now, that don't mean it's gonna be watery. That just means it's a smooth texture. Because if it's a bit flaky and you like to eat it raw, it's gonna taste a little weird. So now that we have it to the real smooth, no flakes, no loose pieces. No matter how small they are, you don't want to see no loose pieces. You want them to look smooth as peanut butter. So now we're gonna pour it into our jar, and you can use more than one key lime if you like. Sometimes I use more than one. Like I used to make it and sell it for people that couldn't make it or that just didn't want to go through the hassle. And sometimes I would use more than one key lime for them because just to lighten the taste. And like I said, also give them more nutrients. Other things you can add to your sea moss. One thing I used to love adding was hard taki. You can add all kinds of herbs. You can add burdock root. You can add mullein leaf. If you run a lot outside in the winter, or if you just outdoors. And we shouldn't be smoking anything, but if you do smoke, that's okay. Mullein leaf helps with that too. Like I said, you can add burdock root. You can add elderberry. I never tried activated charcoal. It sounds good, but I'm pretty sure it'll change the color a lot. And like I mentioned before, some people add chlorophyll and they make a green type of sea moss. There's lots of different things you can add, herbs you can add to your sea moss. Like I said, some people add fruit to theirs. They make mango flavored sea moss. That's a popular one. And things of that nature. I'm scraping this out, and I'm gonna show you the texture of it through the jar as well, so you can see how smooth you want it. Because if you eat it raw, you don't want it to be flaky, because it's gonna taste weird. And sometimes it'll accumulate a lot of water when it's flaky. That's why some people have to mix theirs up a lot. Another thing I've seen, I'm not trying to knock nobody, because it's not nobody I don't know. I've never seen nobody on YouTube having it, but I see a lot of people selling sea moss out in the street, and the sea moss it be watery when they buy it. And they got put in the refrigerator. You don't want no sea moss like that. You want it cool. You see how that is? Real smooth, a little bit of water bubbles with no flakes. No flakes. I'm telling you. It'll taste weird. And that, my friends, is how you make, your homemade sea moss from scratch. Like I said, you soak it 24 hours. After you soak it 24 hours, you take it out. You can rinse it off and clean it. Or if you soaked it in the key lime, that might not be necessary. But just to be precautionary, if you want to rinse it, you can. So if you want to rinse it, you can. Like I said, make sure you use spring water. Whatever you do to your sea moss when you rinse it. I honestly only cook with spring water. I know some people like to use distilled water. Distilled water is okay, but distilled water still went through some type of unnatural process where it was stripped of so many things. And spring water, some spring water, most of them have natural minerals and stuff, and it comes straight from the earth, so there's no need to bother. But distilled water is okay as well. And like I said, sea moss is full of antioxidants. It works as a prebiotic on an empty stomach. It has 92 and 102 essential nutrients our body needs. You could look those up, but some of the most important ones are magnesium, zinc. It has your vitamins, A, B, C, K, all of those. And it's just something good to add to your daily regimen. If it aids in fasting, it helps suppresses your hunger. Like if you do a prolonged fast, 3 to 7 days, and you just take your scoop of sea moss in the morning, it's really great for that as well. Make sure your body has the nutrients it needs. While you're abstaining from food, and it doesn't contain too many calories to even break you out of the fast if you're looking to go into the autophagy mode. And the number one thing, like I said, people don't mention a lot is that if it fights radiation in the body by turning radioactive contaminants to salt, so they can be exposed physically. And besides all that, take a shot at it. Your first few times, like my first few times, you might not be successful. You might not get you will be successful. You might not get the texture you made. I'm glad I brought that up before I end this video. It's a little long, but when you're adding water to it and it's in a blender, add in increments to 2 ounces. So a quarter cup, 2 ounces. So you don't add too much water and it gets watery and you only soak with so much sea moss. You know what I'm saying? Now you got, it's something that might be a little bit more watery than you want. Add 2 ounces of sea moss, blend it up. And I forgot to mention this. I have this here. You can also soak your water and store it in a copper water vessel overnight. If you want to use copper water, that's so you can charge it a bit. And copper is antimicrobial. It does all kinds of wonderful things to your spring water. I only drink my spring water from copper bottles. I store them in the fridge or sit them on the counter overnight. But besides all that, take a shot at it. Save yourself some money. Make some money. Whatever you want to do with it. I hope this helps you. And stay focused. Guard your frequency. Don't be provoked. Don't react in a malevolent way to malevolent actions against you. And stay up. One love.